Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to welcome you all to the 120th weekly webinar organized by AABN. In this virtual group, I recognize some familiar names of participants from diverse groups. You have all worked tirelessly on the agenda for this webinar series. I'm sure at AABN, we are also reaching out to many new friends, practitioners, technologies, innovators, and business professionals. A very warm welcome to you all. We all understand the importance of science, technology, and innovation in our day-to-day lives and the way in which they are transforming the world. Equally important is our collaboration and networking in this great effort. These webinar series are designed to help aspiring entrepreneurs visualize the possibilities, identify resources to support their vision, and understand the logistics of starting a business. This Sunday too, you'll be delighted to know that we have an eminent speaker, Mr. G. Reguraman, and he will share his thoughts on Rise and Shine, well-being essentials. The last couple of years have been a watershed moment for public health, and our thinking about mental health care in recent days should reflect this. Technological advances of the last few decades have transformed the way we live, work, and socialize, making it easier to stay connected to the world 24 hours a day. However, increasing research shows living in the digital age is negatively impacting on our sleep, energy, mood, concentration, and work-life balance. AABN's webinar for today is designed to give attendees the tools, knowledge, and support they need to improve and upgrade their well-being. Attendees will discover that changing their mindsets and lifestyle habits can boost their productivity, helping them to work smarter instead of harder. Well-being champions play a pivotal role in ensuring a well-being program achieves positive results. They bridge the gap between your well-being team and with the right support and training will significantly enhance engagement and ultimately the success of your well-being strategy. The challenge, these often passionate volunteers from different backgrounds generally have no formal training in well-being or understanding of what the role involves. This session is designed to provide an introductory overview of the role, what it entails, and its significance. This webinar is designed to provide practical guidance on how to find movement you will love for life and how to fit the right type of exercise into your busy day. Whether we are at work, home, or traveling, AABN's highly engaging well-being webinar covers a wide range of health and well-being topics that will help attendees to achieve optimal well-being. Powerful takeaway actions designed to leave attendees feeling empowered, positive, and active and action-focused. I have the pleasant duty of welcoming and introducing Mr. G. Reguraman at Rise and Shine, Well-being Essentials, and Interactive Business Networking session. Mr. G. Reguraman is an IT project manager turned social entrepreneur in health and wellness space. Raghu practices heartfulness, meditation, and that led him to become a vegetarian and now a vegan who does not consume any animal products since 2011. After turning vegan, Raghu learned a lot of plant-based nutrition to keep himself and family healthy. This led him to switch to wellness industry from IT industry and promote preventive healthcare through holistic wellness involving body, mind, and soul through his organization, Holistic Wellness Experience Center, located behind DLF IT Park, Porur. Raghu is a holistic wellness consultant who believes that health is a summary of what you think, breathe, drink, eat, and most importantly, what you eliminate. I believe that we're participating in this webinar today. We are in the right place and the right time. Together, let us accelerate the exchange of ideas and scaling up of good practices. I'm confident that you will find new ideas, fresh energy, and novel partnership to sustain your efforts. My sincere thanks to the core committee team for their untiring efforts to get this webinar going. Once again, a very warm welcome to Mr. G. Reguraman. Thank you, and over to you, Raghu.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Gopi sir, for your warm and kind, introduction. And I consider this as a great privilege to address to the august and the prestigious alumni, Annamalai alumni, university alumni gathering here. And so I'm going to share, some of my knowledge that I acquired in the last decade, over a decade or so. And like I told to Mr. Vishwanathan, there are so many, health is such a vast subject. Through Q&A, probably I'm looking forward to learn some of things which I didn't know from some of you as well. Okay, so it's going to be a mutual learning exercise. It's going to be, yeah. So with that, let me share my screen. So are you able to see my screen, sir? Yeah.
Yeah, we are able to.
Okay, wonderful. Okay. Okay. So primarily it's about going to be the importance of balancing mind, body, and soul on a daily basis, right? And I always believe health is not just a one-day affair, a weekly affair, or a 21-day affair. It's a lifelong affair if you're serious about keeping good health. And so in this picture, as you could see, both of these women are actually 8 years old. Your daily choices determine how the future will unfold, right? And so we begin with the, what kind of a diseases, people are facing today. Primarily, we have, congenital diseases like, with birth defect. It could be someone who's a blind or someone who has got some chromosome related, hormone related issue and several other, birth related defects. That's a quite common. We come across several such people. They're very unfortunate. We pray to God. Some they end if it is a blind, they could probably do a transplant. They get the eyes transplanted and they get the vision back, etc. But some they have to live with that. The second is the contagious diseases, right? We know how much we suffered with COVID during 20 to 22, and malaria and a lot of other contagious diseases. Thanks to the vaccination like polio and other things, we got rid of them. The third is probably nutritional deficiency disease. A lot of, it could be a hemoglobin, it could be iron deficiency, calcium deficiency, and deficient several, nutrition. Because of that, a lot of health issues happen. And fourth is actually the lifestyle or non-communicable diseases, which is actually killing 70%. 70% deaths is because of that. A quick statistics is roughly on an yearly basis, 140 million babies are born and 60 million deaths happen, right? Out of the 60 million deaths, roughly about 70%, 42 million deaths per year. That's about close to 3.5 million, deaths happen because of these lifestyle diseases like heart disease, diabetes, lung disease, cancer, chronic kidney diseases, and all that, which are completely actually preventable and reversible. If we kind of know it in advance, know how to prevent these diseases, and also if at all it happens the early stage, it's quite possible to reverse them, right? And fifth is actually the geriatric diseases, old age related diseases, right? Dementia, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, etc. Even these geriatric diseases, we will be able to address in advance, right? If we understand if we know what causes these geriatric disease, old age related diseases, and how to address them, right? And so primarily, I'm going to introduce the concept of holistic wellness, right? There are 8 dimensions to wellness, which are primarily certain things are inner and certain things are external. For example, I've classified as in this slide, I've classified the inner wellness and outer wellness, right? The inner is a spiritual, emotional, intellectual, or a mental, and the physical. They're all very, very, within the body or the, within the individual. Whereas outer wellness is the environmental, public health, then the financial economy, then the occupational employment, business, social, family, friends. And if we all notice, we all had a, our own, direct experience that even though if we're going to have a great, the outer well-being is greatly dependent on the inner well-being, right? We know how much of COVID, affected the business and our social life and several other things. We could not, attend several weddings. We could not attend several funerals, and businesses came to a standstill, all because of the inner wellness, especially the what we call the physical, wellness got badly affected, right? Which is having a direct impact on the public health and other aspects, right? And my understanding is it's not enough. We all know, especially the second wave of COVID, if you all remember, a lot of deaths happen because of not only just severity of the virus or the spread, but also out of a lot of fear. People got into a lot of mental health issue type things where they felt, my neighbor got this, someone who in the same age group as me got affected by COVID, then I am also likely to get affected. The fear, actual psychosis actually led to that, right? So there need to be a strong emotional and mental well-being. Otherwise, the poor mental and emotional well-being can actually affect the physical well-being as well. For that, the foundation is actually the spiritual well-being, right? And so So my understanding is what I learned in I may not be have a scientific justification or anything. What I understand is the root cause of diseases is 50% is spiritual imbalances, and 25% is emotional imbalance, and 15% is mental imbalance. Only 10% is actually physical imbalance. It could be a diet related, poor sleep, or exercise related, and other aspects. So the major part of this is a spiritual imbalance. When we say spiritual, it means different things to different people, right? It could be, it is not exactly just a religion, but it's much more than our connection with ourselves to the ultimate, divinity. And for some, it could be a, ஒரு குலதெய்வ வழிபாடு அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கலாம், whatever. So whatever you feel spiritual, the connection with the spiritual well-being is very important. That's what I learned. The second aspect is the emotional, right? How we are able to manage our fear, anger, right? And all these kind of things. It's very important that we learn. That's why, even in the corporate area, what we call the emotional quotient, right? Ability to manage your emotions, feelings, and thoughts, right? That plays a major role. So we have, even though things like meditation and some spiritual process should help us to address emotions, still we need to consciously follow certain things to keep ourselves emotionally intelligent. And mental well-being, there's no need to overstate this. We all know the importance of having a healthy mind, and physical, of course, we'll talk in detail. So what I firmly believe is health is a summary of what you breathe, what you think, what you drink, what you eat, and most importantly, what you eliminate. It's mainly ஒரு பஞ்சபூதம் மாதிரி நம்மளுக்கு எல்லாத்துக்கும் தோணலாம் இல்லைங்களா? So அந்த மாதிரியான ஒரு effect actually. But this is a very fundamental to health, as long as somebody is able to breathe properly. For example, if we start fearing about something, right, immediately our breathing pattern changes. The moment our breathing pattern changes, the entire body's metabolism and the entire body's immunity ability to fight the disease or make an intelligent decision, etc., gets badly affected. That's the importance of breathing. So everything, whatever we do, the positive and negative side affects our breathing, and that has got a major impact on the entire body, because the very, very fundamental energy to the body is the air we breathe. That's very important, right? And so going further, like I said, the spiritual, emotional, mental, physical. And physical, we'll talk about the importance of sleep, exercise, food, water, and detoxing. And so I practice this heartfulness meditation for the last close to 26 years now. I learned when I was doing my MBA in Bharatiya University, Coimbatore. And so primarily, there are several things. I don't think I have to tell a lot about meditation, because most of you, I think what is meditation, what's the importance of meditation. It's primarily about relaxing the mind, at a certain material level. But it's something beyond material level, actually. It's our way to connect out to our inner self. The different spiritual organizations have a different methodology. Some say, like, Jivatma to Paramatma, and there are so much of, different explanation for meditation. I practice this heartfulness meditation, which is actually a simplified form of Raja Yoga, that is start for people, aspirants around the world at no cost at all. And we here in heartfulness meditation, we have something called pranahuti. The pranahuti is, the prana means life, ahuti means pouring. It's like how we can communicate our knowledge from one person to another person through the technique of pranahuti. The guru or the teacher or the guide can transmit his spiritual energy to the aspirant. So due to this, what it would take, otherwise take several births to acquire certain spiritual condition, it's possible to acquire in one birth. That's the promised by the founders of this meditation. It was this particular meditation, was this pranahuti based meditation, was reinvented actually by our Adi Guru. His name is actually Lalaji. His formal name is Sri Ramchandra Fatehgarh. And what he has told is, actually, God has hidden himself within your hearts and exposed you. Hide yourself and expose God, right? That's what he has told. A lot of religions also, I think founders of religion also almost say the same thing. So there are two things that are unique to heartfulness meditation. One is this, pranahuti based meditation. Second is a practice of cleaning. Cleaning is actually to understand cleaning process. We understand the physical cleaning, right? When we go to work and come back, we're so tired, body is probably having a lot of dust and a lot of, dirt. We go for a physical bathing, right? Similarly, what happens in the spiritual arena, what happens is, we always, somebody is always talking to us, we always thinking something, that the concept of, I, me, or, myself, we are always very self-centered, right? So we are actually that the concept of, thinking, overthinking about myself, about the self, too much of thinking about self happens, and that gets stored in a log file or something within our system, right? This too much of thinking about ourselves, it happened to me, I'm doing it, this I, me, and myself, it's actually causing the future thoughts and action, right? So it's very important to get rid of this on a daily basis. That's where we use this technique of cleaning, where we use the willpower. There are two things actually which is very unique to which actually separates the humans from animals. The one is the intelligence part, right? The ability to discriminate and several higher level of discrimination. The second is actually the ability to exercise willpower. Let me sip some water. I remind all of you to keep sipping some water. So with this combination of, cleaning and meditation, this system is very, very powerful. It actually addresses, even our day-to-day life. It actually helps in making our day-to-day life better. We're able to think better, we're able to relax in the much needed mind relaxation we are able to achieve through this concept of meditation and cleaning. So to just a last word about this particular point is, it's like a car, right? Even if we have a powerful car, assume that it is stuck in a mud or in a ice or any of those kind of things, right? There's no point in giving more acceleration. You have to take the car out of it, right? So you have to do the cleaning. So it's a cleaning. One of the things our Adi Guru told about this meditation and clean the relationship is, if a thief is doing meditation, if he'll become a perfect thief, right? So it's very important, we do cleaning. Cleaning is what is actually, removing all the unnecessary things and putting us on the right track, right direction, because there is no point in running fast in the wrong direction. It's very important we run in the right direction. For that, this combination of cleaning and meditation helps. So the website is Heartfulness Meditation, heartfulness.com. All are welcome to visit the meditation, wherever you are across India, across the world. This meditation is available for everybody, free of cost, and everybody it's free to learn. Okay. Now I move to emotional well-being, right? Life is a comedy of those who think and the tragedy for those who feel, right? So irrespective of the situation we are in, we might be able to find a way to take things easy, or, it could be very difficult also. So it's very important, we understand the basics about emotional. Each one of these, topics I'm just mentioning, they're all a 1 hour session by itself, right? But I just want to give a bird's eye view of these various topics, so that, you all can, dive deep and understand, learn more about each of these aspects. And so emotional is very important, because humans are basically bundle of emotions, and how effective we are in handling the emotions, right? It's very important. In fact, I have seen many laughers club, and it's very important to laugh, but at the same time I also realize that, it's very important to vent off the, even the crying, right? It's very important to, I know several people, who, that's why they just said you need to have a shoulder, to cry whenever we go through some difficult situation. I know all of us, had lost some of our family members suddenly during the COVID times and other normal times. So it's very important to vent out our emotions in the form of a laughter, or even in the form of a crying. It's absolutely nothing wrong in cry, because people say happiness all the time, but it's not necessary to be happy always. It's very important to, show our true emotions. It could be not just happiness all the time. It could be a sadness also. It's perfectly okay. And So I just put together some high level pointers about emotional well-being for people, who needed some additional information. It's an awareness about, ability to love and be loved and achieve a sense of fulfillment in life, encompasses optimism, self-esteem, self-acceptance, and ability to share the feelings. So meditation actually helps to develop this inner consciousness to handle emotions and be emotionally, there are a lot of scientific studies that are done to prove this point that, we are able to handle the emotions. And whenever we say responsibility, it's ability to choose our response. That's what basically the word, responsibility means, showing the right emotion at the right time. And okay, and I found we'll move now more to the mental well-being. Primarily, the mental well-being is in an area. A lot of things help address the mental, well-being, and I think some celebrity they came openly and told, especially the actress Deepika Padukone, because what happens is, especially mental well-being, it's like a social stigma, right? So people think it's when I am having a cold or when I'm having a fever or when I'm having some pain, I openly say I have a pain or I have a I have a cold, cough, etc. We don't feel bad about it. But when somebody having some kind of a mental health issue, they feel very very uncomfortable, telling to others, they thinking it is kind of very taboo, or it should not be talked in public at all. But actually it's quite okay to talk about it, talk about and seek the help, and that's very important, right? And in fact, I have one of my friends who passed out from Gindi and landed in US for his masters. Then one fine morning or a night, he actually found himself in a mental hospital in a health hospital in US, and he was diagnosed with the bipolar disorder, right? And so ever since he's on medication. This is one of the best minds from the university. So it's quite normal, so even a lot of eminent personalities have this bipolar disorder and a lot of other health issues. It's quite okay, and but it's better to be on a treatment or take the necessary treatment. And one area where I found this mental health issues or address, basically it happens because of too many things going on in life. The mind get confused and it gives up, right? For that, actually I found sound healing. It's actually a Tibetan concept, especially, of course, even in our temples we have this concept of bells, right? Just that they get the attention of the mind. But a Tibetan, there's sound healing with the bell metal, with a special form of bowls, and I'm sure a lot of you would know about it or know about it. And by tapping it, and the sound produces, the frequency of sound produces from that, and that actually is a very very healing for the brain, especially when we actually go to sleep, right? It actually goes from alpha to beta to finally to the theta. That's a brain wave that's a goes to, especially a lot of us, when we are in deep sleep, it's a when we are in deep sleep, right? And that's when what is called rapid eye movement, right? The rapid eye movement when we are in deep sleep, that's what is required for the body's healing. A lot of people have struggle going to that deep sleep. For that, actually sound healing helps, because the frequency of the sound produced by these bowls have the ability to calm the mind, especially the brain and also the entire inner body. If you look at our body is a highly a porous mechanism, right? We all think only our ears can actually hear the sound. That is true. The ears can only hear the voice, but actually sound can actually permeate, or the entire body it can go through. So a lot of our organs are actually vibrating in a healthy frequency. So when we have certain health issue, these organs start vibrating in a different frequency. To address that, scientists have found that it is possible to tap the singing bowls, and that they produce a sound. The sound goes into the body, and the body, 70% of the body is water. So through the ripple effect, it actually goes to the different organs, and these organs get healed. In fact, I came across an article, or in Germany, I saw a medical doctor, with his stethoscope and his doctor's gown, is having a singing bowl and healing with the help of the singing bowl, right? Even I found one a chronic, I think she was in a bedridden with all these she's on life-saving, equipments, etc. But I found a person, because especially because this is totally non-intrusive, right? This is not a medicine based. You're not going to put any instrument into the body, etc. But the brain and the body responds to sound. That's the greatest one. And this is actually the Western country. There are a lot of research going on, but this is too early at this point of time. It's only used in the wellness side. This is used. Even some hospitals and doctors like this concept of, they understand, they appreciate this concept of healing the body, especially deeply relaxing the body, especially people who are challenged with the sleep related illnesses, right? It helps a lot. And another usage of this sound healing is especially for students who are challenged with the attention deficit, right? Who are not able to pay attention, for them also it helps a lot, this sound healing. So we, in fact, one of the organizations that I know of, they go around, they are an NGO, say they go around and go to schools, and they offered this to a lot of young children who have a lot of attention related deficit challenges. Yeah. So now, so this sound effect has got a lot of, and I spoke about the emotional side, physical side, and mental side. The sound healing has got a lot of, benefits. So now we'll actually jump to the, physical, well-being. And see, physical well-being, what do we actually mean, right? We primarily just sleep, the most important thing. And then comes exercise, then comes the exercise or fitness or a yoga or a running or a marathon or cycling or anything, physically moving the body, right? And then comes the water and food and the detoxing. And so this is what is together comprises of the physical well-being, right? So here, especially when it comes to water, my recommendation is primarily drinking not just clean water, but healthy water. So what we found is, primarily maybe before industrialization, it could be a Sirwani water in a Coimbatore, or it could be some other natural waterfall based waters in several other places, which is considered to be healthy waters, right? Now, because of this so much of industrialization, we are not treating the water properly. Now, what is happening is we are using certain equipments and purifying the water. And in that process, what is happening is we're getting rid of all the essential, what we call the minerals, right? What we call the TDS, right? The total dissolved solids, calcium, magnesium, potassium, sodium. We are actually removing in our effort to do cleaning the water. We are taking too much of the minerals out of the water, and the water is now pure water and clean water, but it doesn't have the necessary minerals and salts. So due to that, what is happening is the water is becoming acidic pH. And our body, naturally, our body is alkaline body. Our blood is alkaline pH of 7.35 to 7.46. That's alkaline pH. So if you're drinking the water, right, which is slightly in the acidic pH, less than 7, 1 to 7 is acidic, and 7 to 14 is alkaline. If you're drinking water that is less than 7, all these bottled waters we have tested, be it Kinley, Aquafina, or Bisleri, or any bottled water you have out in the market, they're all having an acidic pH. The metro water is slightly on the verge of alkaline. They manage it between 6 to 7, metro water, due to that government regulations and things like that, right? So when we drink water that is of acidic pH, it goes into the body. It cannot actually merge. The difference between food and water is food needs to get digested, right? Water, there's no digestion. The moment you pour water into the body, it can go to the esophagus and get into the body. But body does a pH test. Only if it is of if alkaline pH, it will allow the water to go into the blood. If it is acidic pH, what the body does is, it actually leaches the calcium, magnesium, potassium, sodium from the body, from the reserves of the body, and convert this acidic pH to alkaline pH. Only primarily because of this reason, that severe, calcium deficiency issues, all these, kind of arthritis, or a hip replacement, knee replacement, whatever we hear only in the last 30 years. If you really, I'm sure all of you, have been following quite some time now. And if you find only in the last 30 years, ever since the RO movement started, all these, bone related, kind of illnesses started, all the hip replacement, knee replacement, and arthritis and several kinds of, knee pains and hip pains and all these body related pains happen. See, the pain happens, fundamentally what happens is, the blood is what is, taking the nutrition and oxygen throughout our entire cells, right? We have got close to 120 trillion cells, right? So the blood is what is the carrier of oxygen, right? The oxygen has to freely flow to the entire body, but the oxygen can flow only in an alkaline environment. It cannot actually flow freely in an acidic environment, right? So because of this water becoming acidic, what happens is the oxygen flow gets affected. Moment the oxygen flow gets affected, that is when the pain starts. The fundamental the reason for a pain in the body is there is a poor oxygen circulation, right? Because now the our blood alkaline pH is not, blood is not able to maintain the alkaline pH, and it is having the problem, right? And now the major reason for degenerative diseases, including cancer and rapid aging, is because of the acidic waste in the body, which I already spoke about. Then the oxidation of free radical damage, right? What is oxidation? If you cut an apple, after some time it turns brown, right? It's because of oxidation, because the oxygen as such contains iron, and the atmosphere contains air or oxygen. So when FeO2, ferric oxide, right, it becomes rusting or oxidation. So same thing, whatever you happens to the iron gate, right? If you don't keep the iron gate painted, it gets rusted because of this oxidation. So when oxidation happens in the body, the next standard or natural process is free radical damage. What is free radical damage? It's again a big theory, just to help you all understand too easily. What happens when you have a kind of a rotten tomato kept in a basket of another 10 good tomatoes? What happens after a day? If you open it, all 10 tomatoes also get rotten. It's because of this free radical damage. Just to give a brief scientific background, it will have a pair of, it will lose a pair of electron, and to get a pair electron, it will actually, one of the pair, it will actually get electron for the nearby cell. So when that cell becomes short of electron, it will start. So it becomes like a chain reaction, and the entire thing it will get. So same thing happens to our body. It is because of this free radical damage, because of oxidation, the aging process happens, right? So the aging, diseases, and death, these are all very, very much connected. That's what we need to understand. So to prevent the aging process and this oxidation, free radical damage, what we need to do? We have to take antioxidant. That's why during COVID times, the government recommends all of them to take, antioxidants. And the pharma way of antioxidant is vitamin E or a vitamin D, right? They have a lot of vitamin E, and vitamin C has this antioxidants. And that's why, we are all advised to take a lot of antioxidants. And third problem with a lot of health issues is with the, dehydration, right? And primarily, we are not drinking enough water, right? Even though, we are in a tropical, world, right? In tropical thing, we get the thirst, and we are not drinking enough. Even if we drink, it is not enough we drink water. It's very important we drink the right kind of water, because not all water has got the capability to go into our 120 trillion cells, right? There is something called the cluster size of water, right? The normal water will have a cluster size of roughly between 24 to 24 water molecules in a cluster, right? When we boil the water, it becomes like one cluster will have roughly about 10 to 15 water molecules. When I'm going to talk about another way by which the cluster size can be further reduced. Only when, if it is of that size, the water or the blood, because 90% of the blood is water, right, has got the capability to transport the minerals and oxygen efficiently to all the 120 trillion cells. So that if you really look at the function of the blood, right, the function of the blood is not only to transport the nutrition and the oxygen to all our 120 trillion cells. It's also very important to flush out the toxic waste, from the inter and intercellular spaces, right? So that is where I think we all know the very basic thing about the blood, right? The blood circulation happens, the good blood and the bad blood. The bad blood goes to the kidney and it gets purified and all that, right? And so for this, this is a short, kind of information that actually came in the news. And reverse osmosis water filter unhealthy, right? So I already spoke about it. It's not necessary to remove the complete TDS from the water. We can actually let me, I have just power went off. Let me keep my door quickly open. Just a minute. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, so the information about the RO water is, it is not that RO is completely bad or anything. It's, for example, when the groundwater is above, 500 TDS, right? And that water we cannot consume directly. We have to necessarily take it through an RO process. But only recommendation is don't keep it so low, because normally I found the commercial ROs, they're keeping at roughly between 30 to 35. What we recommend is at least keep it between 100 to 150. In fact, the World Health Organization recommends keeping the TDS of water around 500. That's what they recommend, right? And yeah. So the one of the things I found interesting is this equipment called water ionizer, that basically takes a clean water and it takes it through the process of electrolysis, and wherein the device has got a 7 titanium plate dipped in platinum, and the H2O gets split into hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion, and the hydrogen ion is actually is putting a lot of antioxidants into the water, and the hydroxide ion is what is converting this acidic pH to alkaline pH. And also this equipment has the ability to reduce the cluster size. Like I said, the clusters in the water, normal water of 24 water molecules in a cluster gets reduced to 3 to 4 water molecules in a cluster. Due to that, the cellular hydration increases a lot. So this primarily, in a nutshell, if you want to tell about this equipment or a device, it primarily converts clean water to super healthy water, right? Wherein all the objectives like it helps to slow down the rapid aging process. It is able to, it gives the ability of the body to increase absorption of the nutrition oxygen into the body, and primarily it increases the hydration, cellular hydration, right? Yeah. And there are various models of this device available for home use and medical use and all that. And there are a lot of doctors talking about it. A lot of doctors, nutrition, and scientists have spoken about this water, its health benefits. In fact, in the medical world, it's called electrolyzed reduced water. There are a lot of PubMed publication, medical journals around it. And so this is about, this is actually being used in hospitals. In fact, I got the information that, Tata Memorial Cancer Hospital in Mumbai is using it. They're even keeping it for public usage, in the entrance of the hospital. And it's also used in many other cancer hospitals in Gujarat and in other places. But still, this particular device is actually fully made by Japanese somewhere in 1974. And in India, it was launched only in 2016. There's not much awareness right now in India. It's called the Kangen word. The Kangen stands for back to origin. It's a Japanese word. And they primarily invented based on the inspiration of nature, right? So there are certain special waters in the world. One of the water is actually called Hunza Valley, Hunza water they call. And the people of Hunza region, they actually live longer, and women at the age of 65 look like 35, and even if they conceive at the age of 65. conceive at the age of 65, right?
Correct.
And scientists, were totally intrigued. Then they found the reason for this to be the water in that region. The water in that region they have found to have highly alkaline pH, somewhere around 9.5 pH, and the water has having a lot of hydrogen, active hydrogen molecules, and it was having the alkaline pH, then antioxidants, and also it's a microcluster. So taken from the inspiration from that, Japanese invented this in 1874. Yeah. And then I'll just come to my last topic, which is primarily about food. So what we recommend is primarily, organic food, whole food, plant-based food without dairy and meat, and vitamin D and vitamin B12. And I think a lot of you know about all these things, so it doesn't need much elaboration. Probably dairy, I will spend a few minutes about why dairy is not right. Right? It's again a very, very, a debatable thing. And primarily dairy contains what we call, casein protein, right? When casein protein goes into the body, it becomes casomorphin. Morphin is nothing but a drug. And our brain likes two things. One is the sugar on the drug part. Our human system becomes very addicted to dairy because of the morphin in the casein protein. And so what the negative effect is, what happens is, like I said, a lot of times we think we need to take, we take dairy milk even after growing up, because humans are considered the only species that actually consume the, dairy milk of another species, even after growing up, right? And you need something called lactose. Lactose is a enzyme, because to digest anything that you consume into the body, to digest that you need an enzyme, right? And this enzyme, it takes several thousand years to form in the human body. It actually gets transmitted through through our DNA, right? And to consume dairy, digest dairy properly, we need something called lactose, and which will be in the body to digest the mother's milk only for few months after we are born. After that, a lot of us won't have this particular enzyme in the body, lactose. But when we continue to take dairy, right, and what happens is the body cannot digest, and that is what is causing several health issues. It could be for example, somebody migraine. For somebody, it could be some other healthy skin related, it could be an eczema or a psoriasis, right? Or it could be something like a PCOD for women, something like polycystic polyovarian disease or a syndrome. And so it actually can cause all the way up to diabetes and cancer. There is a root cause. Dairy has got a reference to that, right? So it's very important we all do our own research, understand why dairy is not required, and replace it with nut milk or a soy-based milk, or a lot of other alternatives are there, mainly for calcium and protein. And the most important thing is a vitamin D, right? A lot of time, even though we are in a tropical situation, a lot of us are out of agriculture, and we don't really expose ourselves to the sun a lot, right? So normal levels of vitamin D is needed for the body to absorb calcium and iron. If the vitamin D levels are low, however, whatever form you take calcium and iron, the body cannot absorb. So it's very important we always keep a check on vitamin D. It has to be above 30. Anything less than 30, 10 to 20 is considered to be insufficient, and less than 20 is considered to be deficient, and all that. And vitamin D, another, not much widely known vitamin. Vitamin B12 is actually supposed to, in the body, it's very important for our neurological health and for for our brain health. Vitamin B12 is very important. It is basically synthesized in the body by a bacteria, which is naturally available in the soil. Since we are not really consuming a very authentic or a formal organic food, even both vegetarians and non-vegetarians are actually deficient of this particular bacteria into the body. Because of that, we have this deficiency, right? So it's very important we supplement our body with vitamin B12. so that the neurological health, especially I spoke about the geriatric health issues like Alzheimer's and dementia and Parkinson's, etc. One of the reason for this is actually a vitamin B12 deficiency. So besides that, as we age, it's very important we actually do some base, not enough just do walking alone. It's enough we work out the muscles a little bit, because a lot of these Parkinson's and all those things are becoming quite common. It's mainly it's a more of a muscular neuromuscular disorder, right? So it's very important. The neuro side you can address through vitamin B12 and other things, and the muscular side we need to address by visiting any small gym or doing some small weightlifting, and to make sure the muscle loss is not happening, because we age, a lot of muscle loss happens, right? Yeah. And then the final topic I'm going to spend a few minutes about detoxing, right? It's very and for that actually aloe vera helps a lot. In fact, there's a quotation from Gandhiji. He says, if you ask me what were the secret forces that sustained me during my long fast, well, it was my unshakable faith in God, my simple and frugal lifestyle, and aloe, whose benefits I discovered upon my arrival in South Africa at the end of the 19th century. So Mahatma Gandhi took aloe vera every day, as reported by his biographer Romain Rolland. So there's a lot of historical evidence about the benefits of aloe vera. See, basically what happens is, this is, as you could see in this picture, our digestive system, or the gut, right? The small intestine, the large intestine, it has got something called villi, right? So the food we eat, if it contains a lot of these, food colorings, or a lot of chemicals and traces of pesticides, chemical fertilizers, etc., it all go and settle in this place called villi. And it is the villi that actually absorbs the nutrition of food and passes to the bloodstream. Once the villi itself is blocked, right, that's when actually we won't be able to the digestive system won't be, even if we eat a healthy food, our digestive system won't be able to absorb and take to the bloodstream. So it's very important we keep the digestive system clean. For that, there might be many other things, but most important thing and very natural thing is aloe vera. And coming to this aloe vera, there are 400 types of aloe vera in the world, but only 4 of them have found to, because 12 of them have toxins, and only 4 of them found to have the proven to have the fit for medicinal and human consumption. And aloe vera, again, it needs to be grown for 4 years, up to 42 centimeters. Then only the leaves, the petals, or the will have the gel, which is having the necessary nutrition. And so moment you harvest, it needs to be packaged in a sophisticated way. Otherwise, it gets oxidation and the nutrition gets lost. So there are a lot of nitty-gritties about this particular thing. And again, these are all subjects which require a very almost an hour's discussion. So I'm just giving you a bird's eye view of all these, so that you can contact me later. So I'm actually going to play a small video. You can watch it.
இந்த வீடியோல நம்ம ஃபாரெவர் ஆலோவேரா ஜெல்லோட பார்க்க போறோங்க. இந்த பர்டிகுலர் ப்ராடக்ட்ல 99.7% பியூர் ஆலோ கண்டென்ட் இருக்கு. இந்த ஆலோவேரா ஜெல் சாப்பிடுறது மூலியமா நம்ம உடலுக்கு நிறைய நன்மைகள் கிடைக்குதுங்க. முக்கியமா பாத்தீங்கன்னா நம்ம குடலையும் கிட்னியும் அது நல்லா கிளென்ஸ் பண்ணி ஹீல் பண்ணி கொடுக்கும். இந்த பர்டிகுலர் வீடியோல டெமோக்காக நான் அயோடின் எடுத்திருக்கேங்க. இது ஏன் எடுத்திருக்கேன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, இந்த காலகட்டத்துல நம்ம சாப்பிடுற முக்காவாசி உணவுகள்ல கெமிக்கல் இருக்குங்க. நம்ம சாப்பிடுற ஃபாஸ்ட் ஃபுட் ஆகட்டும், காய்கறிகள் ஆகட்டும், இதுல ஏதாவது ஒரு கெமிக்கல் கண்டிப்பா இருக்குங்க. அதுதான் நம்மளுக்கு கிடைக்குது, கண்டிப்பா தான் நம்ம சாப்பிடுறோம். இந்த மேகி நான் எடுத்திருக்கேன். அதை நம்ம குடலா நினைச்சுக்கலாம். அப்படி கெமிக்கல் கலந்த உணவுகளை நம்ம சாப்பிடும் போது நம்ம குடல் இந்த அளவுக்கு நல்லா பாதிக்கப்படுதுங்க. அப்போ எது சாப்பிடுறது மூலியமா அந்த குடல் சுத்தப்படுத்த முடியும்? தண்ணி குடிச்சா சுத்தமாயிரும்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஆனா தண்ணினால மட்டும் நம்ம குடலை சுத்தப்படுத்த முடியாதுங்க. என்னதான் நம்ம ஹியூமன் பாடியில 70% வாட்டர் கண்டென்ட் இருந்தாலும் தண்ணி குடிக்கிறது மூலியமா மட்டும் நம்ம குடல் சுத்தமாகாதுங்க. ஆனா இந்த ஆலோவேரா ஜெல்லுக்கு அதை குணப்படுத்துற பவர் அதிகமா இருக்குங்க. நான் முன்னாடியே சொன்ன மாதிரி இதுல 99 99.7% பியூர் ஆலோ கண்டென்ட் இருக்கு. நம்ம ஆலோவேரா ஜெல் குடிச்சோம்னா நம்ம சாப்பிடுற அந்த கெட்ட உணவுகள்ல இருந்து நம்ம குடல்ல வந்துட்டு அது பாதுகாக்கும். இப்ப பாத்தீங்கன்னா நம்ம குடிச்ச அந்த ஆலோவேரா ஜெல் வந்துட்டு நம்ம குடலை வந்துட்டு நல்லா குணப்படுத்திடுச்சு. திருப்பி வந்துட்டு நம்ம அதே கெமிக்கல் கலந்த உணவை தான் சாப்பிட போறோம். ஆனா வந்துட்டு நம்மளுக்கு நம்ம குடலுக்கு வந்துட்டு எந்த விதமான பாதிப்பும் இருக்காதுங்க. ஏன் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா நம்ம குடிச்ச அந்த ஆலோவேரா ஜெல் வந்துட்டு நம்ம குடல்ல வந்துட்டு ஒரு அவுட்டர் ப்ரொடெக்ஷன் மாதிரி கொடுத்துரும். அதுக்கப்புறம் நம்ம எத்தனை முறை அந்த கெமிக்கல் சாப்பிட்டாலும் நம்ம குடலுக்கு எந்த பாதிப்பும் இருக்காதுங்க. இப்ப பாத்தீங்கன்னா நான் அந்த கெமிக்கலோட ஆலோவேரா ஜெல் ஆட் பண்ணும்போது அந்த கெமிக்கல் கம்ப்ளீட்டா காணாம போச்சுங்க.
I think the video is slightly slow.
ப்ரொடெக்ஷன் மாதிரி கொடுத்துரும். அதுக்கப்புறம் நம்ம அதே கெமிக்கல் கலந்த வந்துட்டு இப்ப பாத்தீங்கன்னா நம்ம குடிச்ச அந்த ஆலோவேரா ஜெல் வந்துட்டு நம்ம குடலை வந்துட்டு நல்லா குணப்படுத்திடுச்சுங்க. திருப்பி வந்துட்டு நம்ம அதே கெமிக்கல் கலந்த உணவை தான் சாப்பிட போறோம். ஆனா வந்துட்டு நம்ம குடலுக்கு வந்துட்டு எந்த விதமான பாதிப்பும் இருக்காதுங்க. ஏன் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா நம்ம குடிச்ச அந்த ஆலோவேரா ஜெல் வந்துட்டு நம்ம குடல்ல வந்துட்டு ஒரு அவுட்டர் ப்ரொடெக்ஷன் மாதிரி கொடுத்துரும். அதுக்கப்புறம் நம்ம எத்தனை முறை அந்த கெமிக்கல் சாப்பிட்டாலும் நம்ம குடலுக்கு எந்த பாதிப்பும் இருக்காதுங்க. இப்ப பாத்தீங்கன்னா நான் அந்த கெமிக்கலோட ஆலோவேரா ஜெல் ஆட் பண்ணும்போது அந்த கெமிக்கல் கம்ப்ளீட்டா காணாம போச்சுங்க.
Yeah. So actually the continuation is, even if they pour this aloe vera into that, water which had iodine, or tincture, it is able to totally remove it. See, it's basically because what happens is, aloe vera has got something called lignin and saponin, right? Lignin has got the ability to penetrate 3 layers into the skin. And the saponin is from there the word soap comes from, right? It's almost like a soap solution, right? Especially for the body, since it comes from a plant, it's very healthy. It's not having any chemical side of it, right? So I've been using it for quite some time now. I thought I'll share it so that this is especially for detoxing, it helps a lot. In fact, not only for detoxing but also for the absorption of any medicine or anything into the body, it helps a lot. And finally, and I'm going to talk briefly tell about the opportunities wellness industry. I think it's quite common. We see the difference between medical industry and wellness industry is, medical industry is always reactive, right? After somebody, gets into some health issue, be it a diabetes or a heart disease or lung disease or a cancer, etc., it goes for a treatment. Whereas this wellness industry is always preventive, and it actually helps in the post treatment also. It helps a lot, especially people who are in the border level of diabetes, who are actually in the taking treatment of diabetes. They actually can follow some of these wellness methods and reduce the medicine dosage, and try to come out of the these chronic health issues as early as possible. And this is a lot of things and that's happening in the world, especially in the weight loss side, and in the personal care, beauty care. In fact, I didn't have much time to speak about it. A lot of our cosmetics are actually doing more in term, though they are actually keeping us look good and feel good. There are a lot of chemical side of it, which actually causes a lot of health issues. So we have certain range of products which is actually good for all are aloe vera based. While they keep us look good and feel good, the effect of these cosmetics are not there. Yeah. So this is what I just want to bring it up. And there's a short video. I'll let me see if I can play it very quickly.
What will your last 10 years look like?
Gopi sir, there is do you feel a lag sir? There's a lag?
Yeah, see, we are not able to get the audio.
Audio. Okay. So I think there is something wrong with my system. That's so primarily what it this particular video talks about is the same person, right? The same person, if he keeps good, how he will be. If he's not keeping good, how he will be, right? So if he's keeping good, final days he is spending with the family. If he's not keeping good, final years he's spending in nursing home, taking medicines and all that. So that's what it basically means. So it tells us, finally it concludes saying that the average American, it says average American will spend last 10 years in sickness. So it's not only for American, I think it happens to everyone. So that's why it becomes far more important to keep our body fit and healthy. So quick recap is practice daily meditation cleaning for our individual and global spiritual and social well-being. Give a gap of 6 seconds to 30 seconds before responding or reacting to any incidents that make us extremely happy or sad or angry. Develop a sense of gratitude, optimism, learn time management to reduce stress, depression, anxiety, etc. Always sit and drink water. Taste the water and drink. Don't gulp water. Drink 1 liter of water for every 22 kgs of your body weight. Avoid drinking water 30 minutes before food and 30 minutes after food. Drink water before going to bed. Drink ionized, alkalized, antioxidant-rich water, microclustered water, TDS are 150 to 300 ppm. Eat food when you're hungry. Try to grow food. Eat food at least 2 to 3 hours before going to bed. Release, chew, and drink your food. This is very important, because we have your teeth only in the mouth, not in your stomach, right? So it's very important we bite the food and drink the food, right? Wash your vegetables, and this particular equipment has got 11.5 pH water, mainly to remove the traces of pesticides, chemical fertilizer from within the insides of the fruits or vegetables, as well as from the grains. Drink aloe vera gel to remove toxins from food, air, water, as well as improve absorption and immunity. So in our center, we teach heartfulness meditation cleaning at no cost. We offer sound healing using singing bowls. We also do water testing and this Kangen water demo and installation. We provide advisory and awareness on plant-based food nutrition and aloe vera products for health, nutrition supplement, and personal and skincare. So, our goal is to replace dialysis center diabetes clinics, cancer hospitals, dermatology clinics with the holistic wellness experience centers, and offer preventive health care. Have hospitals and doctors a safety net. You don't have to be a doctor to take care of your health. You need a doctor only after you lose health. So we invite social entrepreneurs, business partners to partner with us to set up holistic wellness experience centers in every pin code. So that's about it. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for all your patient listening. Yeah.
Thanks, Raghu. Thanks, Raghu. It
Welcome.
was an excellent session. So we just keep the floor open for question and answers now.
Sure. Yeah.
So participants, you may please unmute and ask your questions, please.
As usual, I would like to be the first. I saw that you are practicing. You're a vegan.
Correct. Yeah.
What do you do for essential amino acids? Which see, you need some. This is a question I have been wanting to ask a vegan for a long time. If you eschew from taking milk totally, where will you get the amino acids, essential amino acids? What is the source? Some of my friends also are practicing vegans, but they don't have an answer for that. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Because for vegetarians, I think milk is the only non-vegetarian source. And what about protein also, protein deficiency? Because India is notorious for protein deficiency or nutritional deficiency as such. So can you highlight and can you give an answer?
Sure. See, basically, it's a good question, sir. Basically, there are 20 essential amino acids, right? 11 or 9 are considered to be primary and 11 are considered to be secondary. And as you are right, that body does not produce amino acids. We have to actually, provide the body with amino acids. Are, for the audience, generally, amino acid nothing but the building blocks of protein. And in fact, the aloe vera is a one rich source of amino acids. Besides, amino acids, it also has got something called choline, CHOLIN, and which is very helpful in our metabolism, digestion and metabolism. And the only other food that contains choline is egg, actually. So one side is aloe vera contains, a lot of these amino acids, to the daily requirement of the body. Other than that, all the protein, see, like I said, any protein is nothing but has a amino acids are building blocks of protein. So all these peas and groundnuts and whatever you think is a source of protein will also have some amount of amino acids.
But they say there are about 3-4 essential amino acids only from animal source you can get that. Or you have to really search for it, like there are some like flaxseed. You have to really plan your diet. Is it
correct?
possible?
Correct. Yeah, correct. Because see, basically,
for a common man on the run, a busy common man, how practical is it to be a vegan?
Yeah. See. Basically, according to me, it's a little bit of ethical, right? Because I know I'm from actually Nagarkoil, Kanyakumari district, right? We all grew up with eating fish, so we all crave for it and like to eat, etc. But for me, once I understood the concept of veganism, for me, eating another animal or a fish or anything is like eating my own children. I thought it is not right. Or rather, if I don't have money in my pocket, if some innocent guy, helpless guy sitting next to me, I can put my hand in his pocket and steal it. And that's how I actually developed the determination or the willpower, to not to harm or another living being, for my own health. I know it's difficult, because it's always easy to hunt an animal and eat it, rather than waiting and growing a crop and waiting for the rain and other things for the crop to grow, then eat that food, right? But we have come a long way, from the Stone Age to a better civilized world. So I think nowadays actually there are a lot of branded products available. You need not have to go around and make the food from scratch. There are a lot of peanut-based milk is available. Then peanut-based curd is available. then lot of this tempeh and a lot of these things are available. But still, I agree, it is not really, to the reach of the very common man. Though we say common man has got a lot of money to for other things, you know, but little bit of awareness and education, I think, will help even the common man to think it is within his reach only.
You also did not mention about importance of physical examination.
Yeah.
Things like homocysteine in the blood. I mean, annual physical examination. I think a lot of people skip it. It doesn't cost much, but it can really give you a guidance on. I mean,
I completely agree. When I speak about the preventive healthcare, the number one reason is, like, I think I briefly mentioned about vitamin D. Check your vitamin D, check your vitamin B12. These two are very, very fundamental. Besides that, there are a lot of things you can do the testing. We can all your liver related fat.
Most people unfortunately expect the doctor. When we say to be healthy, they say the doctor didn't recommend. Actually, the doctor wants people to be sick. Then only he can be in business. If everybody listens to Raghu and becomes healthy, then all the doctors will be out of business. So a lot of people tell me whenever we suggest healthy living or healthy supplementation or healthy eating, they say my doctor didn't tell me. It's like you go to the mechanic after the car breaks down.
Correct. Yeah.
You don't do annual maintenance like changing the filter or annual insurance. You don't do. So most people think they only go. I mean, they wait until the body breaks down and then they go to the doctor. And they expect the doctor to teach them healthy living. Definitely not. Because the doctor will only want you to be sick. If everybody becomes healthy, then there is no doctors will become redundant.
Correct. Absolutely. Actually, see, what I found is actually there are a lot of good amount of good doctors who actually prescribe some healthy eating and everything. But unfortunately, people just don't listen. And even some of the doctors, like a cardiologist, some senior doctors, actually they themselves are under so much of stress, and they are under so much of stress because they have to do a lot of surgeries. Especially recently one of my uncles, he got admitted in 3M open heart surgery, right? And I have one of my close friends who studied with me. He's an anesthetist. He's an Agarkar. When there was a case for a open heart surgery, he said, Raghu, please ask them to go to 3M or any other hospital, because when we do open heart surgery, the cardiologist, there's several other doctors, so many paramedical staffs, even the anesthetists, we are actually sleepless for 3 days until the patient, comes back, after the treatment. So the doctors are also under so much of stress, and they'll be very happy if we reduce the cases.
Actually, when I used to ask, because my wife is in the medical profession, so I used to ask senior doctors why you are not recommending healthy lifestyle. What they say is, even if we recommend healthy lifestyle to our patients, they listen only for a few days.
Correct. Yeah.
Then they consult their friends who says, one doctor the tablet adicha podum, sugar control aidum. They rather listen to their friends than change lifestyle.
Correct.
They want a shortcut, and medicines are ready. It's a nexus between. If you see, if you go to a hotel, you rarely find nutritionally rich food. You get only vada, those nutritionally pathetic food only you get. You cannot get nutritionally good food from any hotels.
Correct.
So it's like a nexus. Hospitals, hotels, the entire food chain.
You're absolutely right.
The drug companies. I think it's a big nexus that they all feed each other at the cost of common man.
Yeah. You are absolutely right. See, but actually, in fact, if you speak to them, they'll put the blame squarely on us. They will say, I'm willing to provide ragi idli or kambu based food or a millets based food in my restaurant. How many people will come to me? Say they put the blame squarely on us, saying that we like to eat healthy, eat tasty food rather than healthy food. and people don't follow any healthy practice, and they do partying, they do a lot of other things, spoil the health, and come to us for a treatment and finally a transplant and all that. So it's a blame happens on both sides. People telling, doctors telling, we how many will listen to us, like you said, they won't listen to us. So my basic, one of the things I request, through several audiences like in this forum, is try to at least create the awareness, right? So at least at least in the school level, college level, irrespective of whatever somebody is going to study, any kind of engineering or anything, have the basics about nutrition, basics about health, because this is a life skill, right? For example, a lot of us drive a car, right? We are not automobile engineers, right? But we know how to check the air. We know if you're going on a long drive, you check the air. You also make sure there is enough oil or a fuel. The windshield is clean. The basic things you do as a driver, right? If you're taking a family out without being an automobile engineer, like I say, you don't have to be a doctor. At least know the fundamentals, because whatever I spoke now, I think it's very, very basic and fundamentals, which everybody must know. And of course, I believe in the ancient days, our grandmother were knowing all these. They were the family doctors, to begin with, but we don't have right now access to them. And now with the latest chemicals, get too much of chemicals getting into the food, in the form of pesticides, chemical fertilizers, in other ways, even the other basic home medicine won't work effectively unless you remove the toxins. That's why detoxing is very, very important. Yeah.
Yeah, Subha, you have a question? You can ask, please. You can unmute, yeah.
Very interesting session.
Welcome, madam. Yeah. Welcome. Yeah.
The medical industry versus wellness industry. Yeah, those are two different poles apart. If you focus more on wellness, the other side will not happen at all. நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி ஸ்பிரிச்சுவல் அந்த இது அது ஒரு அச்சாணி மாதிரி இல்ல. அது நல்லா ஸ்ட்ராங்கா இருந்ததுன்னா மற்றது எல்லாமே எவ்ரிதிங் ஃபால்ஸ் இன் பிளேஸ். பட் ஆனா அதுக்கு ரொம்ப முக்கியத்துவம் நம்ம கொடுக்கறதே கிடையாது. I strongly agree with you. It was a very beautiful session, sir. One thing I learned from this was that Kangen water, அது வந்து நான் வந்து first time I'm hearing that. So I would like to know more about it.
Sure.
Probably learn about that. நல்லா இருந்துச்சு.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Giri, please go on, please.
Good morning. Very good session.
Thank you, sir.
I want to ask only one thing. This alkaline water. In the market, we have different types of alkalinizers, like Kangen water and iron pure and some Indian metals. So would you prefer only Kangen water or any other?
See, basically, you can actually ionize and alkalize the water through two ways. One is through electrolysis or ionization, where water is passed through the 7 titanium plate dipped in platinum. Electrolysis happens. The second way is a chemical way. And Japanese, they are the pioneers, they invented this, and they firmly believe, this, because they do not want to compromise, reduce the cost. And they have only one model, whether you are a rich or a poor, that's the only model available. They don't have one model, because a lot of other companies, what happens is, if it is a Asian market, they will have a one model. If it price based, if it's a US and Europe, they will have another model. Here they have only one model, which is made in the Osaka, factory, and they firmly believe in the quality. They feel it, because a lot of other Korean models are available. They are all made with the white gold and silver and other things. They reduce the price, etc. Whereas this company believes in that specification since 1974. They made some improvements. Otherwise, the core of the product remains same. So the quality, because see, water is a very, very fundamental thing, and they do not want this machine to reduce the effect of the water, right? They want to enhance the effect of water. That's why they are keeping certain specification, which is your 20-25 years lifetime. They give a 5-year warranty, and there are no other consumables other than the plates. You only do the cleaning. There is no changing of the plate. So it's a very, and it's like a Mercedes Benz or a Rolls Royce, right? That kind of a category. But they feel it's for everyone. It's not only for. In fact, we find a lot of ordinary people buying than the super rich people buying. Even though all these, celebrities, right? The who's who. For example, one of the thing I learned is actor Mammootty. He's actually 72. He's 1950 born, and he is drinking Kangen water for the last 15 years, and that is one of the reasons that he is also looking quite defeated the aging process. Yeah, the aging process is where the antioxidant, more than the alkaline, the antioxidant of this Kangen water is very popular as it addresses the aging factor. Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mr.
may I
Ramaprasad.
speak, sir?
Yeah, please go on.
Yeah, may I speak now?
Please go on, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I am Gomati, sir.
Hello.
Sir, I wanted to ask some few questions, important questions.
Sure.
And you are specifying only Gangan water having a good alkaline. What about then what other water filter which we are using for so many years in India, especially in Chennai region? And that is one question. And there also I have measured the pH value as 7.5 only. I have checked it also. And we are using it. And in the same questions, can we use for cooking tap water, that is a tank water, and for drinking that filtration water? And the next question is that, can you please answer these questions? Then I'll come to the next question, please.
Yeah. See, like I said, I will go with what the body needs, right? The body needs a TDS of roughly 100 to 150, or anything less than 300, right? 100 to 150 TDS is the number one, right? The body needs a clean water without bacteria. Second is the criteria for the body is it needs to have a TDS of 100 to 150, and it needs to be in the alkaline pH of about 9.5 pH. 7.5 is better, but still the ideal pH for the body is 9.5 pH. Because it has to closely match with the alkaline pH of the blood, which is about 7.35 to 7.46, the alkaline pH of the blood. So this is the basic requirement of the body. So any water that meets this criteria is good. And we found Kangen water is able to match its precision in terms of a long life, right? 20-25 years. Yeah. And I think your second question was related to cooking and your,
cooking alone tank water, because we are reheating it, for even for cooker, for rice cooking and all, it is heated by that much degree. So all the bacteria will go off. That is my thinking.
No, like I said, the bacteria alone is not the criteria. The alkaline pH is an important criteria.
But it will have a good alkaline, no, sir, because all the minerals will not go off from the tank. We are cleaning the tank properly, not in Porur. Porur, it is acidity, it's yellow color. It's in inter-region like Kanjipuram, Kundratur, so and so.
Yes, you are right. You are right, actually, because see what happens is, when the water TDS is naturally low in the form of 250 or 300, at that time it will be, see, only thing I would ask you to check is the pH, right? The TDS is good in that area. The pH is good. Only thing is, I think you said somewhere around it's above 7. See, it is definitely good compared to a lot of other people. A lot of people consume in the range of 4 to 6 actually, right? So compared to them,
so 7 to 5 in the particular what is that, filtered water. But my tank water pH value is higher than that only.
See, that
I am measured because I am in Kundratur now.
Okay, very good. See, like I said, you are much better off, compared to people in the cities, right? The water in the natural water is much better off, but still you can actually, take a reading of all your, pH and, all that things. And then you can compare, if you want a slightly a better health, better improvement, definitely the Kangen water will help. Yeah.
So for cooking, we can use that water, and for drinking, we can use that filter water. And so no need for, are you selling that Kangen
See,
machines?
I'm more of a user. I'm more of a user, and I just recommend it. I recommend it. Yeah.
Okay, it is not a sales division, or else it is a.
No, Kangen.
Are you?
See the Kangen
Are you?
actually. What happens is, it is primarily done on direct selling, right? So the people
Okay.
who are using it, they're also given the permission, or they are also can become a direct seller. And this particular product is not available through any off the shelf, like in a Vivek & Co or a Vasanth & Co or any place. So only from an existing user who is also a distributor, you can actually buy through his referral. That's how it works. So the company pays a referral incentive, for the people, who are actually, recommending this to others, just to, give them a small motivation. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, aloe vera gel related
Yeah.
soap items and other
Mm.
items, gel for applying face and
Yeah.
everything. All those things are available in what is that? That normal organic shop, including a high-fi organic shop also. Is that good? Because aloe vera, you said some 22 varieties are there. Only 4 varieties are used to.
Correct. Yeah.
Is that okay, or else we have to buy a product which you are stating in the particular arena?
See, primarily, because it all started when my son had an eczema somewhere in 2016. And we tried several products, several dermatologists, he didn't heal. And only then at that point, I saw a friend of mine recommended the aloe vera from this company called Forever Living Products. And they are, existing for last 42 years, since 1979. And aloe vera, see, unlike growing tomato, growing, other fruits and vegetables, aloe vera is a very, very super sensitive plant. Aloe vera can absorb toxins from food, air, and water. That's why even in our homes, the drishtikkaga kuda aloe vera thonga vittirupanga. It can absorb the, a lot of this negative vibration and other things, right? And this aloe vera, since it has got the ability to absorb toxins from food, air, and water, assume that, if it is grown in a normal area, it is going to absorb the toxins around that area. And after that, it is not fit for consumption, right? So this particular company takes the effort to grow in a totally human uninhibited area, huge 10,000 acres of land in South America and Texas, because they understand. And in fact, those areas, the harvesting vehicles also they use, they're all battery operated, because if it is a fossil fuel or a petrol or diesel operated, from that exhaust, it can go into the plants, right? So this company is super. You can actually do some study about this forever normal aloe vera versus a forever aloe vera. Since the plant is so sensitive, and only 4 varieties have fit for consumption, 12 of them have toxins, and then the harvesting, then taking the gel out of it, packaging it, because packaging, when you do the packaging, that's the food industry, the major challenge is with the oxidation, right? Anything that is, that's why we are always asked to grow local food, whatever is possible, right? It's a spinach or any potato, tomato, or tomato, or anything. They ask you to grow locally because you can avoid the oxidation. You can actually, but aloe vera, long, it has to grow up to 42 centimeters. For that, it takes 4 years. Right. So for somebody to consume on a regular basis, there's a vast land is required. And in fact, in India, I was told a lot of companies attempted to grow aloe vera, the same variety. They could not be very successful because, because of these challenges with packaging and all that. This company is so advanced. They have actually mastered this way, of packaging before it gets oxidized. In fact, this particular variety, which I recommend, if you open it, you will find no preservatives. Probably that's the only only internationally or nationally, all packaged food has got preservatives. It's called sodium benzoate. That's what they add standard, which is very much approved and allowed, right? This company, they are gone into some advanced packaging ways. They don't even use sodium benzoate or any. They just actually mentioned no preservative, and this is being used in 168 countries. So 168 countries have approved it, in a country which are much more stringent than us, right? Because in fact, our largest market is actually Japan, where people like, see, Japan, as some of you might know, Japan is one of the when it comes to health, they actually take too much of preventive healthcare. There actually they go through, as part of their annual health checkup, they go through something called colonoscopy, right? They make sure the colon, because they have a lot of colon, because they eat a lot of seafood, all these sushi and raw food and etc., right? They actually damage the body a lot, but they compensate it with a lot of health products. And especially our product aloe vera is one of the fastest, largest. In fact, the rest of the world, we sell it in only the 1 kg, 1 liter, whereas in Japan, we are actually selling it in 5 liters. And one more interesting information about aloe vera is, one of the person in Japan, I believe, she was growing cat, right? She was a distributor of this product. And normally cats and dogs, they all live for 10-15 years, right? This cat lived up to 35 years. And longevity was primarily attributed to this specific variety of aloe vera. So aloe vera in general is good, but this particular company's way they harvest, way they do packaging is extremely good. Yeah.
Can you provide the link or
you, actually in my slide there's a sign called nalamdana.blogspot.com, right? So I have written a small, if you go to this website, right, nalamdana.blogspot.com, you will, Nalanda blog. So I have actually written my own testimonial why I found it good.
Yeah, I'm in the GRT group, sir. Can you please send it?
Yeah, I'll send it. I'll send it, madam.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you very much. I'll
welcome,
give the speaker to others, because so many people are waiting.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else has a question?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, thank you. See, we were talking only about the 10 percentile of whatever you have told for well-being to be. So I would like to put a question on the 25 percentile which you have told. So can you just tell me what are all the questions that will free your mind from negativity?
Yeah.
Because that causes the most of the emotional stress and other thing causes these diseases, as you said. So instead of like, that is the basic thing, that we have to live a healthy life, but for a healthy mind. Okay. So I just wanted to know, like, how can we keep this negativity away from our mind? For anything and everything, we put a question, why me? Why didn't I? Or what if I'm not good enough? Because those are the questions which damages our own ourselves. Okay. So others, they don't ask. It is from us. Right?
Yes.
So I just wanted to know, like, how can you put all these away? We need to teach our kids. So that's why I'm putting this question.
True. See, it's a good question, ma'am. See, what I've learned is, we all, are born with, I believe, with the Hinduism background and, a lot of an Indian background, we believe in the concept of karma, right? We are all born with, that's what my belief is, right? We are all born with some, predestined plan. And it becomes very difficult for us to move out of the blueprint, that is where I introduce this concept of heartfulness meditation and cleaning. So cleaning is fundamentally, it's like this thing, right? For example, if let's assume a few drops, or continuously falling on the ground, they create a groove, right? So next time when it rains or anything happens, it again, water passes through the groove only, right? So what happens is, we have to actually get rid of these pre-formed grooves or these things, right? For that, this cleaning of this heartfulness meditation, this meditation and cleaning helps a lot. Cleaning, especially the cleaning, right? When where we actually apply our thought power. Our thought power has got a huge thing, right? Because of this, practicing this concept of cleaning, we are able to get out of this pattern, fixed pattern, right? Now you are no longer the person you are born with. You are actually managed to modify yourself to a different person, right? then whatever we are, destined to, think. For example, in fact, I happen to, see a neuro doctor, and he was just we were casually talking, and then I told him, for example, இப்போ வந்து வீட்ல வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா வந்து people ask, when the food is not, when today my wife cooked food which is not good, immediately I say today the food is not good, right? It's spicy or it is not tasty. Then she can immediately ask me, yesterday you were quiet, was the food good yesterday? You were also quiet day before yesterday, was the food good day before? Why did not you tell me, right? So this is how our life is, right? When we have a problem, we actually crib about it. We actually, tell everybody I have a problem. But prior to that, when life was going well, we are quietly going through that life, right? Enjoying that life. We did not tell people around us that I'm having a great life, I had a good sleep last night. We don't tell that at all. When I told him, he immediately told this Arthur Ashe. I think a lot of, I think Gopi sir being in sports, he will know Arthur Ashe and several, that personality, where he was actually one of the topmost, tennis player, right? And he was actually, he was the first African American, winning all these, grand slams and all that stuff, right? And he was having a huge fan following, but he suddenly got diagnosed with AIDS. Somehow some wrong treatment happened to him. They infused the blood with AIDS virus, and he got AIDS. Then he declared, he told everybody, I'm having AIDS, and my days are getting numbered. Then there was a very, very passionate fan. He in fact was very upset. He asked him, why you are such a great person? Then he said, when I was winning the grand slams, when I was the first African American, it takes about 50 million people to start learning tennis. From that it comes to 50, and finally only 5, and I lifted the title. When I lifted the title, I did not ask God, why me, right? So when I'm suffering, I cannot ask why me. So my point to you is, the heartfulness meditation helps a lot, and the cleaning process in heartfulness meditation helps a lot. To to clear up the basics, right? You clear up the basics. Now you are no longer the person that you were yesterday or a day before yesterday or born with. Now you are a different person. Now your mind will be able to function differently, because whatever I'm telling, it's very, very easy to listen, very easy to say, but very difficult to follow, even for myself, right? So unless we do the practice, we actually change ourselves from X person to Y person. Mentally and spiritually, we have to change out. In the karmic wise, we have to change out. So unless we make that change, I think it's difficult. All these. That's why I put a heavy weightage on the spiritual part, right? The karmic part, 50%. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. But a lot of atheists are there. We cannot answer this to them. Like, you have to be spiritual if you take it in a religion, this thing. But as you say, if it is a common thing, how they connect with the universe, it is fine. So is it good to have a self-talk to eliminate the negativity?
Absolutely,
Is that
absolutely,
okay?
absolutely. See, there is a book called, there is a lady who got cancer, and she actually, it's called Hugh, right? I've forgotten her full name.
Louis Hay, sir.
Louis Hay, exactly, Louis Hay. And she actually got cancer, and then she looked back. She didn't take any formal treatment as such. She looked back and she found she had a very abusive, childhood. Then after marriage, also abusive husband, etc. So she found she was carrying a lot of this negative vibration, negative emotions, like hatred and fear, and all that stuff. Then she actually, went back, did retrospective or introspection. Whoever she was hating, she excused them. She replaced her hatred with love. And finally, after 6 months, she went back and they did the diagnosis. They found the cancer totally disappeared from her body. Then she wrote a book, how she did that, right? And that book became the one of the top bestseller. You can heal your life, you can heal yourself, right? And so I recommend all of you to read that book, because that talks mainly about the mental health side, right? How you can actually replace a lot of these negative emotions with the positive emotions. And in fact, it's a book is widely available in Tamil. And the book it's available in Tamil, Telugu, all these Indian languages. The book is available. I recommend everyone to read that book. Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
It's a very nice session.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sir, I have another question. Actually, spiritually, in the sense that God is around us, even in front of us. So, by even laying down and sitting down and cooking in the kitchen, or else doing something. So we are thinking of God, but we used to say horoscope. Based on that, only everything is vibrating around us. Okay. So, do you believe horoscope, or else do you believe only? Are you saying only your spiritual things will make you think positive?
Yeah, that's a good question. See, basically, nama Tamil Siddhargal vande. You understand Tamil? Is it okay to talk in Tamil?
I'm Tirunelveli, sir.
Okay.
Near to you, close to you.
See, basically, என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னா வந்து தமிழ் சித்தர்கள் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா 3 விஷயத்துல எக்ஸ்பர்ட்ஸ் அப்படிங்கிறாங்க. They are experts in many things. ஒன்னு வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா வந்து ஆன்மீகம், இன்னொன்னு ஜோதிடம், இன்னொன்னு மருத்துவம். Right? So ஆன்மீகம் இப்போ உதாரணத்துக்கு வந்து I will take the example of this person. There's a book written by this person, right? Life of autobiography of a yogi, right? Autobiography of a yogi. பரமானந்த் அவர் எழுதினார். இந்த பாபா இவர் பாபா ரஜினிகாந்த் ஒருத்தரை ஃபாலோ பண்றாரு இல்லையா, அந்த குரூப்ல உள்ள ஒரு டாக்டர் ஒருத்தர். சோ இந்த யோகானந்த்ங்கிறவர் ஒருத்தர் பரமானந்த் உண்டு, அவருடைய குரு இஸ் யுக்தேஸ்வர், ரைட்? This person Paramanand is actually a disciple of this Yukteswar. Yukteswar is a master astrologer, right? And so I think in chapter 16, if I remember correctly, ஒரு நாளைக்கு அந்த பரமானந்த் அவருக்கு பயங்கர சிவியரா ஸ்டமக் ஏக் வருது, right? Unbearable, right? Then he no choice but he goes to his guru. அந்த யுக்தேஸ்வரை பார்க்க போகும்போது யுக்தேஸ்வர் திரும்பி உட்காந்துருக்காரு. இவரை பார்த்து உள்ள வரான்னு தெரிஞ்ச உடனே உனக்கு இப்ப எப்படி வயிற்று வலி இருக்கு அப்படின்னு கேட்கிறாரு. இவரு அன்பேரபிள் அப்படிங்கிறாரு. அதான் சொல்றாரு, நீ என்னோட டிசைபிள்னால நான் வந்து உனக்கு வந்து இது வந்து 6 மாசம் வர வேண்டியதை 6 மாசம் இருக்க வேண்டிய பெயினை 24 நாளா குறைக்கிறேன் அப்படிங்கிறாரு. So if you look at this incident, அவருக்கு அந்த அஸ்ட்ராலஜிங்கிறது ஒன்று தெரிஞ்சனால, யுக்தேஸ்வருக்கு தெரிஞ்சனால இவரோட பெயினை ரீட் பண்ணிடுறாரு. எவ்வளவு நாள் இருக்குங்கிறதையும் ரீட் பண்றாரு. 6 months இருக்குங்கிறதையும் ரீட் பண்றாரு. ரீட் பண்ணிட்டு இவரோட ஸ்பிரிச்சுவல் பவர்னால அவருடைய கர்மாவை குறைக்கிறாரு. Because he is very close disciple, right? He deserves it probably, right? Because he needs to do service to several other people. So அதனால அவரோட பெயினை இவர் குறைக்கிறார், குரு குறைக்கிறார் ஆக்சுவலா. So they employ all three, right? அவங்க சில நேரம் if necessary they recommend some medicine also. That's why நம்ம சித்தர்கள்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா they all had this capability, right? ஆன்மீகமும் தெரியும், ஜோதிடமும் தெரியும், மருத்துவமும் தெரியும். That's why Pulipani and lot of other people, they're all master astrologists, right? Yeah. So I actually believe in it. And only thing is, நம்ம அஸ்ட்ராலஜில ஒன்று இருக்குங்கிறதுக்காக நம்ம வந்து ஆன்மீகத்தை வந்து நம்ம வந்து அதிகமா பண்றதுனால அஸ்ட்ராலஜியை வந்து ஒரு டேஷ்போர்டு மாதிரி யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு அந்த எஃபெக்ட்ஸை நம்மளால வந்து குறைக்க முடியும் ஆக்சுவலா. தட்ஸ் வை இந்த குலதெய்வ வழிபாடு இது எல்லாமே ஹெல்ப்ஸ் a lot actually.
Good answer. Okay. So we can convert our karma to by means of spirituality, more spirituality.
Absolutely. Gurus actually they have the ability actually. Guru வந்து அதனால்தான் இவர் ராமகிருஷ்ண பரமஹம்சர் பத்தி சொன்னாங்க. When even in his final days, right, he actually had a throat cancer, right? And he had throat cancer because the guru என்ன பண்றாங்கன்னா வந்து எல்லா டிவோட்டீஸ் who are deserving undeserving எல்லாருடைய இதையும் அவங்க எடுத்துக்கிறாங்க ஆக்சுவலா, right? And அவங்களுக்கு they actually end up having a lot of health issues. That's why invariably lot of gurus, be it Ramana Maharishi, Ramakrishna Param, they all had a cancer, during their last days, right?
Including Sai Baba.
Exactly, yeah. And especially with the Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, what happens is during his final days, his close disciples, அவங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்சிருச்சுது இவர் வந்து அதிகமா டிவோட்டிஸை பார்க்கறதுனால இவர் எல்லாருடைய இதையும் எடுத்துக்கிறாரு, he gets into problems, சொல்லிட்டு they were actually avoiding the disciples from seeing him. But there was one lady who managed to come close to him, look at his feet. Then ஒரு தடவை வந்து இவங்க சாரதா தேவி வந்து when she was actually sitting and praying to Ma Kali, அப்ப அந்த டைம்ல வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா வந்து there was a very dark complexion lady, right? With the throat was much very and the throat full-ஆவே பயங்கரமா இதாயிட்டு இருந்திருக்குது, டேமேஜ் ஆகி it was very badly affected, right? On the cancerous மாதிரி இருந்து. Then that lady went and merged with the God, giving the message that even the God is taking the pain of this suffering, right? That was the message that was given to ivanga Sharda Devi, and that not only your husband is going through that pain, we are also part of the pain. So this karmic is a very deep subject. All these gurus and they take that. அது என்னன்னா வந்து பேசிக்கா என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னா வந்து that's the grace, right? The grace is something which we, even if we don't deserve, the guru gives it. That's why in the spiritual system I practice, we are actually need to be very connected with the guru. That's very important, right? The guru of caliber, right? We are not talking about everyone as a guru. And the guru of caliber, if you are connected, it's like if you are connected to the school teacher, right? If the teacher knows you well, and she understands you. ஒரு நாளைக்கு குழந்தை எக்ஸாமுக்கு வந்து லேட்டா போனா கூட the teacher knows, this child is a very good child, she will actually give some additional concession, right? Because she knows the child is a deserving child. Only on that day the child has got some problem. So those are the kind of additional concession or grace or a mercy you get in the form of the guru, because guru is more like a representative to the God. So that's why even it could be a mother or a guru. All these people, they are qualified to do that. Yeah. So whoever is in Chennai, I invite you. We have a meditation center here in Manapakkam, and if every Sunday we have it at 7:30, then 11 o'clock, and evening 5 o'clock, and you are welcome to come and attend our group meditation. And whoever cannot come, you are welcome to either sit through in a remote session, or even we have an app. If you go to Play Store and type Heartfulness, you'll find an app. Through that you can know about it. So we all can get to know about it, right? And try to follow as much as possible. Yeah.
I think Subha wanted it, right?
Yes, sir, I would like to try.
Actually,
Sure, sir. Yeah, I would like to try this. Yes.
Actually, in our case, what happened was we wanted to help somebody. Somebody had a lot of health issues. And after checking, my wife said, "You don't have any problem with your health. You're actually agitated." So we asked where he's from, and he said he's from Manapakkam. He said, so my wife said, "Why didn't you go here?" I was sitting there. I said, "What is this place?" So, and that is how my wife and I landed up. And we're very nice to have a preceptor like who guided us. Yeah, it has done wonders for me. I can vouch for it. I've been doing it for the last 5-6 years.
In fact, see, in Ramachandra Medical College, they offer this as an elective. Heartfulness meditation as an elective. And one of the doctors, who knew about this heartfulness meditation, after he finished his studies, he became actually the resident doctor of this Coromandel engineering, right? When and he became the resident engineer, doctor. After going there, the organization wanted to offer a wellness or some kind of mind relaxation to all their employees, the factory workers. So he recommended Heartfulness to his organization, and they invited us. So right now, this Heartfulness meditation, besides offering to individuals, we are also offering to corporates. In fact, we are offering to Murugappa Group, TI Cycles, and in fact, this all came from the MD level. The invitation to offer Heartfulness meditation to the employees at the workplace, happened from the MD level. So there is a lot of acceptance, or at the corporate level, we are observing. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, it's offered to the Coast Guard. One of our practitioner, it works for the Indian Navy. So one of a few of our teams, they go to, so before they take off, this Indian Air Force, right? The Navy helicopters, every day they go for a surveillance. So before going there at 7:30 or so, for 15 minutes, they do this meditation before going to fly. That, so it actually a lot of people are finding it useful even for their day-to-day handling their day-to-day material life. Yeah.
Sir, in the meditation எங்கனாலும் நம்ம உட்கார்ந்து எப்போ we can practice it on our own at any time, sir. ஏதாவது ஒரு சென்டர்ல போய் நம்ம உட்கார்ந்து பண்ணணும் கூட கிடையாது.
Correct.
Center yourself so beautifully. If people just learn the art of doing this, they'll be so comfortable anywhere, sir. Stress எல்லாம் நம்மள ஒண்ணுமே பண்ணாது. நல்லா ஹேண்டில் பண்ணிட்டா you can do multiple things. எவ்வளவோ செஞ்சுட்டு போலாம்.
Absolutely.
People only learn this. It's such a beautiful art, actually.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, anybody else has a question, you may please unmute and ask, please.
The Louis Hay mentioned panningal, sir. Louis
yes.
You can heal your life on the book. She also has a supplementary book, sir. Workbook ஒன்னு கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கு அந்த book வந்து actually full-ஆவே introspection தான். Physical work it out. I would strongly recommend. நீங்க சொன்னீங்கல, so workbook நீங்க கூடவே actually பண்ணி பாத்தீங்கன்னா ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கு.
Very good. Yeah. Ninga edavadhu say, I will get the information from Gopi sir, from you. Yeah. Or you can put it in this chat also. If there is a website or a link, you can put it in this chat for the benefit of everyone. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. In fact, we urge a lot of people to, come into the wellness industry. Sometimes we listen to friends, right? So we listen to friends as a, for example, nama ஒரு ஃபேமிலிக்குள்ளேயே அல்லது within our community itself, if there are people who actually know the basics about these different aspects of health, if these people can give a talk and create the awareness on a regular basis, a lot of major crises can be avoided before it hits very bad. Right now, again, the COVID is making headlines. Right, they got about 10,000 cases. In fact, on the fear nal da adhigamagum actually, more than the actual virus, and the fear will trigger more problem. So adukku if we have a proper support system within the family, within the community, I think what Mr. Gopi sir is doing through this forum is simply amazing. I have super high regards for him and all of you for taking the time to attend and participate week after week. So this is something really great, greatest social service, I will say, for all the so Annamalai University, I think it's a way ahead in this. I don't see this happening in many other universities. So I'm very thankful and grateful and so much happy for all of you for doing this. Yeah. And you're on mute, sir. Gopi sir, you're on mute.
One last question. If anybody else wants to ask a question, you may please unmute and ask. Okay, I think we are done. Raghu.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.